welcome to Misfits by Design, an interview series curated to capture the rebel intel of midlife women who are growing old on their own terms. I am Rhiannon, and this interview series is my 50th birthday present to myself. Today, I have the utmost pleasure in introducing my friend Malory, who has literally been like a big sister, mentor, guide, figure really for my entire adult life. We've known each other for a very long time, and I can't even imagine doing this project without capturing your wisdom. So, Malory, thank you very much for taking these minutes to be with me today.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
Okay, great. So I'm going to start by asking you a question that I was told never to ask a lady. How old are you?
I love it. I am very proud to be 59 years old. So this is my 60th year, and I'm
Yeah.
getting very excited to plan a 60th birthday and shout it from the rafters. Because I have to say, the fact that you are turning 50 is such a delight for me. And when I turned 50, my tagline was 50 is nifty. So
I love it.
let's go.
Oh, so good. I'm going to totally steal that. Okay, great. So in this chapter of your life, what are you pouring your heart and soul into?
I have to say, one of the benefits, I think, of one being female and getting older is that we get out of a lot of our conditioning, and we get really in touch with what's important to us.
Yeah.
We ask ourselves, what feels good? What direction do I want to go? And so I am so about reinventing myself right now and being able to be like, yeah, I have all these different chapters in my life and they were all really important. But every day I wake up, I can be someone new. And so really embracing that and not being afraid to put it out there, you know?
Yeah. That's really beautiful and such good advice because shedding the old identities create space for new things to emerge. And I know I've been struggling with letting go of the iterations of myself that I'm really comfortable with. And so hearing that it's something to embrace feels exciting.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's super exciting.
I love it. Okay. And I think I'm feeling a bit terrified. So I'm glad to know that you are ahead of me in some years and I can follow in your footsteps. I have 5 questions and we'll just kind of go until we run out of time or until we get through them. But my first question, uh, is there a rule about being a woman, being midlife that you're breaking and doing so with pride?
Yeah, I think, saying the things that you might have been afraid to say, just because they didn't seem appropriate or, we were so conditioned, I think, with kinda good girl conditioning. So even though I've been a little bit of a rebel most of my life, like running a film school for girls, like, no one would say that that would be normal. But
Yeah.
man, I also realized I got a lot of kudos for being in the nonprofit sector, for supporting young women, and so that was great and an amazing thing to do, but it was also very much pleasing. And so, like, being able to be a little bit more selfish and pleasing to myself has been
Yeah.
a new thing for me lately.
Wow.
Um, so I would say, yeah, that is definitely the direction I am going with having the freedom of the extra years.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I love that. Okay, so not every midlife woman is entering in with loads of confidence. I know that, insecurities pop up and women are just trepidatious with the change. If you could give a piece of advice to someone standing on the bridge like me, I'm right here, going from the 40s into the 50s into this midlife era, what advice would you give someone that's having a bit of a hard time?
One, I just have to guarantee you, it just gets so much better.
Be good.
Um, and I have to say too that like, even though I always felt like I was this confident woman in my life, even in my younger years, when I look back and I look at how much I was taking the lead from the people in my life, the partners in my life, the men in my life, doing things that would please my dad, not knowing what I wanted, like, what are we going to have for dinner tonight? What movie do we want to see? Asking my boyfriend or husband. And so definitely, even at this cusp of 60, asking myself, like every day, what do I actually really want?
Yeah.
Like, what do I really want? And getting in touch with that in a way that I never have before.
Yeah.
It's very hard, I think, for women to do that. Again, the conditioning is to figure out what other people want.
Yeah.
So even though I've been in this, feminist progressive movement, personally, I'm like, what's my own playlist that actually wasn't dictated by, past boyfriends? Like, can I just get rid of those songs
Yeah. Yeah.
and
It's
just pick what I
interesting.
want?
Yeah. It's interesting because like our society just isn't set up for women to approach life from that perspective. It's like we're here to serve, we're here to be the support system for our communities, which just by being that, the default is not being in touch with self. And I believe both can be true. Like we can be great supporters of the people and projects in our life that we love and be of service to them, but still in touch with our own knowing and the invitation. It's great that you're saying it because now you're opening it up as an invitation, like yes, and
Yes,
yeah. Okay,
absolutely.
cool. I love that. Okay. So I've heard you say, and then maybe you can speak a little bit more into this, that using your voice and advocating for what you want is important. If you were to think about like your life, in which ways have you gotten more courageous and like louder with your expression?
Yeah, it's a really good question, and maybe this dovetails into something else that I think you might have on your list. But this idea of trusting our intuition, but even
Yeah.
knowing what that intuition is by asking, like, what is it that this voice needs to say? And I would say, really, it gets back to asking that question of what do I want, and what in this moment today is giving me the most pleasure. What do I find pleasing? And so, like, it's terrifying to me, but like, I'm actually launching a project today. And it is in a world that people don't even know about, don't know me in this world because I'm reinventing myself. And so being able to use my voice and say, oh my God, I am an artist and I wrote a book and you don't know me in that capacity, but I am shouting it out.
Yeah.
So, and also, being able to be like, I have never talked publicly about psychedelic use, right? And I'm
Yeah.
like, guess what, world? I'm almost 60. I can say what I want.
This is really exciting. And I think such an invitation that we don't have to diminish as we age, which is also part of like the traditional narrative. It's like, oh, you get older and you get less potent and you get less loud and the projects and the giving birth to new things starts to slow down. And you're like, I'm turning 60 and introducing a whole entire new version of myself to the universe.
And if anything, I feel like I've gotten more juicy. Um, It's true. Like I do. I look back at, pictures of myself in my 20s and I'm like, oh, right. The face looked different, whatever. And you could say like, all of the barometers of life. But man, when I think about who I am and who I am when I walk into a room now versus back then, it's night and day. And I feel like women getting older and really stepping into their juiciness more. I see it more and more in my friends and my peers too. Like something's really shifting. It's exciting right now.
It's so exciting. This kind of leads me to my last question, and I'm asking it from a selfish perspective, and it has to do with beauty standards. I've spent a lot of my adult life living in Las Vegas, and there's a reverence for youth. There's a reverence for like a homogeneous kind of look. And I've really battled with holding on to my authenticity in an environment that really pulls one away from showing up uniquely. So as you've aged, how has your definition of beauty and beauty standards shifted?
First, before I answer it for myself, I'm going to have to say that even from my early years of knowing you, Rhiannon, you have always had a sense of style and sexiness that just shines anywhere
Thank
you go.
I
Um,
appreciate
and it's certainly like how you put yourself together and presenting yourself to the world for who you want to be and the
Yes.
future that you want to be creating by, the clothes that you choose and just really embracing, enjoying being a woman and being, yeah, juicy in how we present ourselves to the world.
Yeah.
But I also think, we can look at role models. Like I had the
Mhm.
luxury of living in Paris when I was young,
Yeah.
for a year and seeing older women in their 60s or 70s at that time who were wearing mini skirts and high heels and purple and orange. And I'm like, this is Paris. Like this is the pinnacle of fashion. And women in their 70s are dressing like that. I can do it too.
Yeah.
So owning it and dressing the way you want and also just dressing for yourself, dressing for men, dressing for other women, just not being too concerned about it. And again, maybe it's always getting back to this for me right now, like dressed in a way that pleases you with fabrics that feel good to you, that, makeup that feels good on your face, that, just go for the feeling of pleasure for yourself.
Oh man, that's such great advice.
Yeah.
Well, Malory, thank you so much for being with me today for these few minutes. How can people who want more of your wisdom and your rebel intel, where can people like connect with you? Are you playing in the social space these days?
Totally. Instagram is Malory with one L because everyone always spells it wrong.
Okay.
And also, as I said, I'm launching this book, Wonderland. And so you can find me on Substack for Wonderland.
Okay, perfect. We'll make sure to link all of those. I
Super.
just have to say, like, you have been such a role model and guide really throughout my entire life. You are the glitch, like, in the aging matrix that I think more people need to hear from. So whether we touch like 5, 10, 25,000 people. I just think that hearing more of the things that you have to say is going to benefit like women far and wide. So thank you. And most importantly, me, since this is my birthday present to myself.
Well, you taking this creative exploration and making it public, I think is so, so fantastic and so spot on. So thank you.
Thank you, Mallory. And
Yeah.
yeah, we'll be clipping all of these into small bites and posting them on social. And then we'll have a long form on YouTube. We'll tag you and everything. If you feel inclined, share. And if it doesn't resonate, that's okay too. And we'll just be pushing it out and hoping that we influence the people who need to hear it.
Sisters unite, man.
Thank you. I
Nice to
can't
be
wait
there
for our
with you.
worlds to collide, hopefully in Colorado.
Sounds great.
All right.
Ciao.
Bye, sister.